Hi everybody, John with you, and time for another video. This one's kind of overdue, so I'm going to try and make this fast and not a super long video or a two-part video or three-part video or whatever. I did some record hauling the past several weeks. I went to the Ideas Inside Sidewalk sale where everything is $1. This is also a couple of thrift store stops, and also last week Savers had an amazing 40% off all books and music and DVD sale, so I couldn't pass that by, so I got some records. So these are all easy listening records. This is music for my radio station, Moody Mood Music, on live365.com, which is like an old school, easy listening elevator music, supermarket music kind of store you might have grown up with. If you're my age, or if you're younger, you probably have no idea what it is and you just have to check it out. But the link for that will be below. So my goal here always is to get very cheap, like $1 or something in that neighborhood, easy listening records to digitize and use on the station. So I'm just going to leave, what I'm just going to do is leaf through kind of quickly everything, and then I'm just going to pull out a couple of records to talk about. And I'm not going to talk about everything because I don't want this to be like a half-hour video. Let's look.
Not for me to say you love me. It's not for me to say you'll always care.
Rum picking, lip licking, gingerbread. Can't think about rainy weather now. I finally got myself together now.
So yeah, this one here, this is a Japanese record, like a ballroom dancing record. I had to use my Google Translator to translate it, because you wouldn't know, but I had to get it when I saw what it was and saw the track titles. It's Ballroom Dance Series number 9, Standard Dance Tempo Music, Christmas Dance Party by Munehiro Okuda and the Blue Sky Dance Orchestra. So these are actually all Christmas songs. However, they are arranged for ballroom dancing, and as a result, also, I don't know as a result, but for whatever reason, they arranged them for ballroom dancing. Just straight musical arrangements. There's nothing Christmassy. They don't, do what you always do with like instrumental Christmas music. Usually you have the jingle bells and church bells and whatever sort of fun wintry sounds and things. None of that. It's just straightforward Christmas tunes in a dance, ballroom dance tempo. And I have to tell you, a couple tracks are just killer on here. Like to hear "O Come All Ye Faithful" and "Joy to the World" as cha-chas. Very interesting. To hear "Ave Maria" as a rumba. This already is already up on Moody Mood Music. I had to put this one up right away because it's just great. Well, this one I had to pick up. This is Rocky and Other Knockouts by Ferrante and Teicher, the pianists. And I just got it because it's a later release from theirs. And this one's kind of curious. The track listing is several movie themes and songs that were, Mary Hartman, What I Did for Love. Things that, I don't know, you don't hear quite as often on this kind of a record. It's curious to hear it. Mantovani, of course. And again, I was curious, is this one kind of hard to read these titles here, but there were some later, kind of later songs on this one. These next two are early jazz on budget labels, and I just got them for myself because I sort of like some of this earlier jazz and R&B and whatever stuff. Crown Records, I love the artwork on these. So these really aren't for the station, but just for me to enjoy.
It's such a miserable feeling.
These two up, Orchestral del Oro, the pop classics go Latin, and then when I was at Savers later, I picked up this next album, and I thought in my mind, I bet they're the same record. So when I get home, I'll find out, and sure enough, they are, which doesn't matter because I only paid 70 cents or something for it. But pop classics, Latin style by the 101 Strings. Somewhere, I don't remember where, but a lot of 101 Strings records were reissued as Orchestra del Oro.
Even on a jet plane.
Yeah, John Denver. I don't know. Later John Denver is just interesting.
Oh, babe, I hate to
Spike Jones does like comedy arrangements of songs.
There's so many times I've let you down.
Well, Peggy Lee, I love Peggy Lee. So, of course, when I saw this, I had to grab it immediately because I was thinking I've never seen this record before. What is this? Mirrors. This is later in the 70s. You could figure by looking at it. I'm like, oh, I don't know. This must not have been a big hit or super successful or something. I've never heard of this record. And so when I brought it home, of course, it was one of the first ones I wanted to needle drop, and I just ended up playing the whole thing. Oh my God. This is the freaking weirdest record. Like, I love it so much. Have you heard this record? I had to start doing a little research on it when I listened to it, because I'm like, what in the world what would inspire them to do this record? But this is from 1975. Mirrors. I mean, listen to the title tracks are like Professor Hopman's Performing Dogs, The Case of MJ, Longings for a Simpler Time, Ready to Begin Again, Some Cats, No, A Little White Ship. And the lyrics are included here. It is a gatefold. So it turns out, like, she did some song, now the name of it escapes me, but it's some single like It's Not What It Used to Be or something like that. That was written by the person that wrote all of these songs. Jerry Lieber. Oh, yeah, Jerry Lieber, and music by Mike Stoller. So they wrote this other song that she recorded as a single, and I guess didn't do well with teens, but it did really well on the adult easy listening chart, that one song. And so they decided to do a record a few years later. They didn't include that single on it, but it's the same people, the Jerry Lieber, Mike Stoller, and Peggy Lee as the artists. It is easy listening. It's sort of jazz, but it's really very eclectic and very strange. And I had images listening to this music, if I could describe it, and see if you agree. The film and the documentary about Grey Gardens, which I loved. Evie, I think that's her name, Evie. Very eclectic character, right? And sort of imagines herself to be, that she had this possibility of being some amazing, worldwide known performer, but was not able to do it because she had to take care of her mother all the time. So I just had visions listening to this record of like, this is exactly what Evie from Grey Gardens would do. Like, this is the kind of music she would do. like sort of weird, and you're sort of dancing around, and almost like maybe an Edward Gorey artwork also, if you're familiar with him. I don't know, but check out a little bit. I freaking love this record, but it's so weird.
Of the night and come aboard, I guarantee you a pleasant journey. Fair winds,
This one, I didn't know. I just had to check it out and see Old Songs Deranged by Charles Ives, music for theater orchestra. I just wasn't quite sure what this was going to be. I thought it might be interesting. It might be something usable for Moody Mood Music. As of listening to it, it really isn't, because it's very strange music, and I don't know how you describe it. I mean, it's sort of light classical, but it's very polyphonic, a lot of it, so it doesn't really work. But I had to check it out. Sergio Mendes in Brazil, 77. This is really like kind of soft disco. This record here, I had to kind of stop and do a double take when I came across this in the stacks. Like Swedish Delights, arrangements by Sandy Alexander. Like, what is this? So I had to kind of look at and read it, and it was kind of what I was hoping it would say it was, which is these are all like traditional Swedish songs, folk songs that people outside of Sweden probably don't know or have ever heard. And their idea was, the arranger, Sandy Alexander, the idea was to arrange them in like a more orchestral, Western orchestral type of orchestration, and to sort of offer them as like a sort of easy listening album of traditional Swedish songs that could be played anywhere in the world, that would be kind of fit in on an easy listening type of station. And it is interesting because I do enjoy it. I like the arrangements. Some of the songs are really pretty, and it's kind of, yeah, I agree. So I'm looking forward to getting some of these selections up onto Moody Mood Music. Vincent Bell. It's a little kind of interesting because he uses, what does he call it, the water guitar or something they call it. Yeah, the water sound he's supposedly known for, and it's interesting. If you like the Tijuana Brass and all that, Mariachi Brass is worth checking out. They have put out several albums because they featured Chet Baker. Of course, he's a jazz artist, singer, and trumpet player. These are all instrumental albums. Mariachi Brass featuring Chet Baker, and every one of them I've had quite tasteful.
Buenos nachos, señors y señoritas. I invite you to tune in to Moody Mood Music to hear the native music of my land, Mexico. Even though I'm pretending to be on the cover of a Tijuana Brass record, I'm actually on the cover of the Mariachi Brass. But what's really the difference anyway? Just tune in and enjoy the brass sounds of my native land, Acapulco. The link is below in the description box. Arriba, Chihuahua, Mexico!
These guys turned out to be more folk singers. And then I picked up several Ballroom Dancing albums that they had on sale. Sometimes you can find usable things and some sort of nice ballroom dancing music that fits into the moody mood music. This is Latin American Fiesta, all the Beatles songs. Yeah. And finally, for the dance records, I was excited when I saw this, picked it out, and I thought, okay, this might be really a gem. Tony Evans Singers and Orchestras, but you gotta look at the track listing, Together Forever, the Rick Astley song. Lady in Red. I Should Be So Lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. I should be so... Nothing's Gonna Change My Love for You, Glenn Medeiros. Never Gonna Give You Up, also Rick Astley. So I was expecting this to be wonderful. And it was just kind of so-so, like it's the singers. I don't know. It just wasn't. I was hoping it would be more of a Ray Conniff-esque ballroom dancing album, but it really kind of wasn't. So I was a little bit disappointed with this one. But, you can't win them all. Okay, well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you want to check out Moody Mood Music, the link for that is below. 24/7, 7 days a week, free. Easy listening music. And I'm just going to put on my Peggy Lee Mirrors album and sort of be, what would she do? Edie from Grey Gardens.
Mary Jane caught the bride's bouquet. Mary Jane